All right, so I want to use this video as a bit of a breakdown of PayPal stock. So what you see here is the earnings call that happened on November 8th with PayPal. The market was kind of selling off before that for PayPal, and after earnings, PayPal just went down even further. So this is the stock that I'm looking at. It's entering some buy zones. Just want to kind of utilize some of the highlights from the earnings call, kind of put things in perspective that sometimes the market will overreact to news that's out there. So PayPal is now teaming up with Venmo with Amazon. So that's ginormous, as Amazon is one of the biggest online retailers, not even retail marketplaces out there. So Venmo, which is owned by PayPal, Amazon start accepting Venmo and enable their customers to pay with Venmo at checkout. So that's ginormous. Q3, so Q3 results were generally in line with our expectations. Our total payment volume grew by 26% to 310 billion. Even as there's PayPal's getting away from eBay's, um, I think eBay is not going to no longer accept PayPal as a form of payment. Even with that, they're still growing. They grew 26% of all total payment volume. So total payment volume is 310 billion. That's a lot of money. Our active accounts were up by 15% year over year, reaching 416 million active accounts. They had 13.3 million net new active accounts in the quarter, including 1.2 billion merchant accounts. So PayPal's still growing. They grew by 15% year over year, and they even added 13.3 million new net accounts in the quarter. In this quarter, they added 1.2 million merchant accounts. So PayPal is still growing. This earnings call was a great earnings call. What everyone's kind of going crazy about is probably this here. There's so the revenues grew by 6.182 billion, growing at 13% spot basis. They were saying that this is slightly below their expectations because of Q3 had back to school sales and travel were weaker than they thought. But even so, excluding eBay, our revenues still grew by 25% in Q3. This is what the entire market is going ballistic over. That they didn't hit the mark. So this is how crazy earnings can be. Is that like, this is a great, phenomenal earnings call. If you own the company and your revenues grew by 25% in a quarter, I think your business is doing phenomenal. So this is just a bit of an overreaction. So let's kind of bring it to the stock and the stock analysis. So I'm on a 3-day with PayPal, and I'll show you exactly why I'm on a 3-day stock. So PayPal is trading at peaks of, I believe, it's like it was 310 was the highest aspect of the stock. So it kind of, let's break down, this is going to be more of a technical analysis of the stock. After we just found that fundamentally the company is fine, let's use technical analysis here. So you had a bit of a run up from crossing the 3-day 200 simple. So it kind of popped up, hit all-time highs, double topped on an all-time high. Here are your moving averages. And our first level of support that we were looking for that didn't hold was here at 233, right? You had, and we'll kind of zero in on this for you. You had this area, and this area. You had 3 bounces. It was level support. It held, but didn't really hold terrific. So we came to support. This is definitely an area where I came in and bought some. Again, didn't enter my full position, but I definitely entered here. And now this is the next zone that PayPal is going to be trading in. And I expect it to kind of hold in this zone for a bit. So what you're looking at is a zone from 208 to probably 175-ish. I would expect PayPal to kind of range in this zone for a bit and form another base and potentially form a bottom. So what I'm looking for PayPal to do is to hang here and potentially form here. And I would assume it's going to go into the support level and kind of trend here. This is probably where it'll accumulate and eventually go for its next move higher. You have your next earning call, Q4 in February. But again, you had consistent green earnings call, great company fundamentally. The 3-day simple, which I assume is going to touch at some point this week, would look like a great aspect to really start buying in. I bought in here. I also bought in here. And if it comes to the 3-day 200, I'm definitely going to bounce in. And I'll show you why. This is the last time PayPal went there. And that was during that market sell-off. So PayPal hit the 3-day 200 simple. And from there, if you bought on that simple touch, you would have over 2x your money on that simple touch right there. So I'm assuming PayPal is going to come here, hover around this 200 simple. I think we find a decent floor on around 188. I think your bottom is about a 175 based off of this. If we go to our indicators, yes, our MACD is pointing bearish. This sell-off is definitely anticipated due to the bearish divergence of this stock, right? You have a straight line here, and you're diverting down. Same thing on your RSI. You were diverting down your RSI, and now we had our sell-off. Now look at our RSI. Our RSI is starting to hit oversold levels, which is good to see. Our stochastic is definitely bouncing in severe oversold levels. And our MACD. Our MACD is the only thing really pointing bearish, but I think this bearish sell-off went. So you're having a lot of selling volume here. I think we come in and find some level of support for the stock to cool off and let it trend. How long will it trend? Your guess is as good as mine. If we go to the daily chart, go to the same daily chart, we see that they had a gap down in earnings. So assume that this level here at about 215 or so is going to be some overhead level resistance. So again, I would expect PayPal to fall into here where I think strong hands are going to start to accumulate the stock for its next ride up. The daily MACD, it did try to cross, but look how oversold this stock is. You're at 12 on the MACD. If we bring ourselves to March during that COVID sell-off, we were only at a 6 on the MACD. You're now hanging around almost 14. So I think this stock has been beaten down tremendously. On the daily, the histogram's diverting up as this is trending down. So I think you're getting some bullish divergence on it. Your RSI is entering oversold levels on your RSI, and your stochastic is hanging out here in oversold. So I think this stock has been beaten down for no reason. I think it's a broken stock, not a broken company. Putting this stock on the forefront of entering in. This is what a buy zone looks like. With this right here is basically what a stock going on sale looks like. Has a PE that's less than about a 43, 44 PE on PayPal. The PE is less than square. I think you're looking to get into the payment center. You're looking into a company that's going into crypto. PayPal should be on your forefront.